it's Lucy Brand here, intuitive healer and business coach to women entrepreneurs, and welcome to the third episode of the High Frequency Female series. And today's episode is all about how you're showing up in your business and life as well, but what you're putting out there to the universe and then what's being reflected back to you. Now, this was a massive game changer for me in my business because I didn't quite realise how I was showing up. And what I mean by that was it was reflected back to me on a course I was taking where I saw someone who was very inspirational, was multi-six figures, and the way she showed up to every one of her calls and the way she showed up in her business and the way she conducted herself was just really inspiring and really amazing. And then on the other end of that, I saw some people that were having a bit of a struggle and were finding things difficult, and the way that they were showing up was sometimes in their pajamas and things like that, which is fine. You know, if you need to do that, do that. Like I did the other video on permission, like if you need permission to do that, do that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, hi Maria, lovely to have you on. What I'm saying is that when I made the commitment to my business to show up, not just for my business, but to show up for myself, that's when it all changed for me. That's when I started seeing the results that I'd been desiring for years in my business. And that's when it got really exciting, and that's when it got really fulfilling, and that's when I started co-creating incredible clients who I love to serve and are a joy to work with and get incredible results. So seeing how different people at different stages of their business were showing up was what was a game changer for me. And then looking at which one and thinking, what one do I want to achieve? What's my heart's desire? And it was the lady who was multi-six figures. So watching the way she conducted herself and showed up, I started to tweak and make changes into how I was showing up in my business. Now, one of the things which may seem really insignificant but was huge for me is I bought a watch, right? So I haven't worn a watch for probably about 15 years. I really struggle with time and space. I joke with some of my clients that it's probably because I'm not from this planet. But it's just something, it's a concept I have a real struggle with, and I often get it wrong. So, and it transfers into calendar dates as well. So in order to ensure that I was showing up as the best possible version of me in my business, for my clients and for myself, I bought a watch. And so now, once again, a little thing that's transformed my business because I'm always at least 10 minutes early to an appointment. And I've got a watch which works for me in terms of it's not 24 hours because I really struggle with the latter evening part in the 24-hour clock. And this was huge because I was showing up before time, prepared. Whereas before, if you're someone who doesn't wear a watch, I found that I was always second guessing myself at what the time was. I was always stuck in the busy, oh, I've got to do work. Oh no, how much time have I got left? And I wouldn't know because I wasn't wearing a watch. I hope that makes sense. And this is just a little thing for me, which was once again a game changer. The second thing for me was showing up in my business how I wanted to show up. So every morning, that would be putting on my makeup. That would be finding an outfit that I felt empowered in as a businesswoman. And it was just these little tweaks that I needed to make to start being the woman that I desired to be in business. And then once this form of empowerment comes, once you start showing up, then the universe meets you halfway. It always does. And then I felt more empowered and more confident. So then I started applying for speaking gigs or to appear on podcasts and things like that. And once the ball starts rolling, it's hard to stop. And once I started showing up for myself and in my business and making this commitment and being like, right, universe, this is it. I'm all in. This is how I'm showing that I'm going to do it. I'm showing up every day. And these are the results I would like to get. That's when it started happening for me. And once I started showing up more regularly with how I wanted to be and who I wanted to be, then that started to manifest in my life. And it also meant that things became easier in my business. So getting a watch, time became easier. I found that I had more time, so I had more time to prepare, and I was better at scheduling what I wanted to do with my time and breaking it down in the working week. I also became better at just more confident in myself with doing Facebook Lives and things like this, because you have more inspired ideas when you're vibrating. I've spoken about this before, at a new level, or vibrating at the level that you want to vibrate at. That's when the ideas that are matching that vibration come in. So it is that thing of be the person, or be what you want to be, desire, which is really annoying and frustrating if things aren't working, but it really is down to that. I also found that I also found once I started showing up, consistency became easier. I'm not quite sure how that worked, but it just became, perhaps with the time thing as well, I found more time for it, but it just became easier to be more consistent in my business. And once you start being consistent, that's when you start seeing the results that you want to see. And it just meant that it's easier for me. I'm also enjoying writing my newsletter, and writing doesn't necessarily come naturally to me, but I'm really enjoying sharing my ideas and writing my newsletter. I'm really enjoying like hosting these high frequency female video series, and there's a whole level of more enjoyment that's come into my business, and consistency and results, just from showing up and being the woman I desired to be, and the businesswoman that I desired to be. And that's what I'd like to suggest to you. If there's an area in your business or in your life that's not quite the way you'd like it to be, what's the resistance there? So for me, getting a watch, that was some resistance there, which might seem insignificant, but it's played a huge part in getting me organized and getting me confident with time. And yeah, I still struggle with it, but it's more manageable now. Just looking after myself and showing up in terms of having my hair done, having my makeup done, having my outfit, which I feel confident and empowered in, which inspired me to then apply for being on podcasts, being hosted on podcasts and things like that, and speaking gigs, which I now love as well. And once that happens, it starts a chain reaction, and more start popping up into your reality. You're like, oh, I didn't realize that was going on there, or that was going on there. So that is what I mean by showing up and being the woman that you want to be in business. But if, on the other hand, if you are going through a stage which is tricky, or you're struggling in business, we've all been there, we all have them, then it might be that you just want to get in your PJs and crawl under the duvet. And that's okay too. Give yourself permission to do that. But if you want to see the results in your business, then there needs to be some consistency of who you're being and how you're showing up to yield the results you desire, whether that be the tribe, whether that be being able to connect better with your tribe or communicate with them better, or whether that's performing consistent marketing, or whether that's creating clients, or whether that's creating the business income you desire, or the opportunities, whatever it is. Just have a little think about what's not currently, where you're not showing up in your business and you'd like to be. Okay, lovely. So that's it for today, and I shall be back next week with another high frequency female series. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying these. Like, it's been such a pleasure to put them together. So I really hope that you're enjoying them too. I also wanted to share that I'm now running VIP packages, which includes a day with me and a few sessions as well, and I'll be starting to post about that. But if you are interested in working with me, then amazing. I would like to invite you to a free complimentary clarity call. I'll put a link below to my diary, and there's a bit more information about it as well, and it is no obligation. It's just about a conversation between you and me to see where you are at in your business and where you'd like to be. All right, lovelies, have an amazing week, and I shall see you next week. Bye.